Good morning. This is Reverend Pam Geagan from the Center for Spiritual Living Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. And it's wonderful to be with you again this morning on our Ascension meditations. And a lot of the information I am relaying to you is from a book called Ascension, Embracing the Transformation. And what we're talking about is how all of the dimensions that visible and invisible, are now coming in and crashing together, and that's why everything is it seems like it's speeding up so rapidly in our lifetime. But when you go into all the physics, we know there is no time and space. There is only each and every moment, and that our insights to what is that veil that is around us are now coming forth in greater ways. And those are what I call the dimensions. And there are no clear cut lines of, what comes first and what, there's not a, like we walk from one dimension to the other. They're all coming together and weaving together in ways for us to open up to. When we're talking about waking reality and waking consciousness, it usually means we're in this third dimensional form, the physical form. And when we go out of that physical form, then we go into other. And the dream state is like the dimension, because actually we're dreaming about something that is already happening in our minds, our hearts, our souls. And so that's the best way I know how to describe the differences between the third and fourth dimensions. And again, these are not clear-cut lines. So we are always moving in and out of the third, the fourth, and now the fifth dimension, because many of us have already been in the fourth and the third and fourth combination for a long time. And one of the ways we know about the fourth dimension also is we kind of know who's calling us, who's not calling us. What if we have an idea, all of a sudden the plans on developing that idea come right to us in a wonderful way. When we desire something at its deepest level, not the thing itself, but what it'll make us feel like, it is offered to us, and we're awake, aware, alert enough to accept it with a big yes. So I'm going to go into just our relaxation exercise. And again, I'm going to start just by breathing in and connecting in that consciousness right here and right now. And so when I think of this, I always say we are just energy people. We're just filled with energy. There's energy all around us at all times, and we are just counting on that energy. And as much as we open up to it around us in that highest and best way, then it fills us and brings to us like that magnet, that which we desire, the highest and best for ourselves and for all. And I always say the first place you start is yourself. If you can't love yourself, how can you love anyone else? So you go in and you find out all the good that lies within you and embrace it. And just embrace all of the good. And I say release and erase all that's no longer available and needed in your life anymore, that's holding you back, like your fears and your anxieties. And just usually fear means thinking of the past or thinking of the future, and anxiety is always about thinking about something in the future that doesn't exist right now. So in this moment of now, we're just going to relax in, and I'm going to say we're going to breathe in that source, because we want to recognize that there is something greater than we are, and we want to breathe that in. So as we breathe in and go, I use God, God is my source. And on the out breath, I am. And then two more silently as we relax our bodies and our minds and our hearts and our souls in to absorb a new way of being. So two more breaths silently. And in this relaxation moment, let us just feel that wonderful energy, that bright, beautiful tunnel of light that is in and through and surrounds us, opening up even larger as it comes in through our crown chakra, the top of the head, and just comes right on down. Down, relaxing the crown, relaxing the bacon brow, as I say, the third eye, opening new ideas, relaxing the eyes, relaxing the jaw. And some of you may even feel like your jaw is slack jaw. And then going down and relaxing the throat chakra. Opening up to the throat chakra. And then having that energy go right around the shoulders, down the shoulders, relaxing the neck and the shoulders, and down the arms, down the elbows, down the forearms, down the lower arms, down the wrists and the hands, just relaxing the body in and having that energy go right out the fingertips. Right back up and surrounding the body, going around from that heart, that beautiful heart chakra where the lotus sits in the middle, open and receptive. And there's a deity angel, personal guide there to help you. And as that heart chakra opens, it goes in to the solar plexus, wraps around in that beautiful yellow, gorgeous light, and then down from the solar plexus to the sacral chakra, the beautiful orange, and then going down into the root chakra, relaxing the root chakra, and that red, and then going down from the hips to the thighs, to the knees, to the calves, down, 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 to the ankles, through the feet, healing and revealing anything that is holding you back. And that energy goes straight down to the earth. It anchors in that earth. And in that earth, we go down, 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 and anchor to a tree or have someone holding it there for you. And then that energy comes straight back up because we want to be in this third dimensional existence. That's why we're here, is to experience dimensional body and all the physicality around us. It's what has brought us here so that we may deepen on that deepest level and go back, as I say, home. We're going home on that eternal path of becoming and going back to source, that one point of light in all of the dimensions, that everything is together. And so in this process, as we have been called very powerfully, we have shown up with our spiritual muscle to be here and to do the best we know how for not only ourselves, but all of the world. So that energy coming right back up, coming right out the crown chakra, connecting with all of the world and surrounding us as I west, the north, the in, the out, the up, the down, just surrounding us and protecting us and revealing to us that which we need to know in this meditation. And before I go any deeper, I had a most wonderful experience in my heart chakra. I always invite in a deity. Sometimes it's God that shows up in its lightness and its oneness. Sometimes Jesus, Buddha, Krishna. This time it was my father-in-law, Bob Geagan, and his message was, keep it simple. And I was just so touched, and I conveyed in my silence, do you know how much I love you and appreciate you and how much fun you brought to my life? And he said, yes, keep it simple. So it brought me back right down to that physicality of that simplicity of how life can be. I just thought I'd share that with you because it brought tears to my eyes, and it was so him. It was so him. Anyway, and it was so true about me. I can make things very complex. So anyway, as we go in and we go in and we learn more about these chakras, I'll try and keep it as simple as I can. Oh my gosh. So um, so when we are in all of these this time, you will know the energy is so great you can't miss it because it's crashing against everything that we've known and changing everything at that deepest level. And so in this fourth dimension that many of us are, the third and fourth dimension, and opening up to the fifth dimension, the realm, as we awaken spiritually, we're awakening to our true selves. And how else could it be without a pandemic or something to keep us in the silence more and separate more, to discover that although we are in this oversoul, this one soul, our light, our soul is very important. And so in this dimension, love and lack of fear are the best ways to avoid any troublesome thoughts. In the law of one, this one, this one, this one, in the oversoul, expressing beautifully, perfectly as each and every fingerprint of God, that nobody's light is like my light or your light or any other light. And so this fourth dimension and going into the fifth dimension is learning this way of love. And the fourth dimension actually is about learning about the heart chakra, that air element. And the air element in the heart chakra brings freedom to easily move and flow and be who we are, and not forms of what others think we should be. And humankind as a whole, most of it is, even though it is in constant transition into the other dimensions, a lot of that humanness is focused on that third solar plex chakra, the solar plexus. And yet our heart chakra is moving and opening so rapidly. And in physics, we often define time as in that fourth dimension, which is added to the three dimensions of space. Space, which is length, width, and depth. However, physics also shows us that space and time are interchangeable and essentially the same thing. And from a spiritual perspective, from this higher place, we learn that space and time are increasingly flexible concepts beyond the first three dimensions, almost becoming non-existence in the highest dimensions. And so when we actually desire something that is the highest and best for ourselves and the planet, it shows up in releasing an addiction we may have, or showing up in a tool we may need in our spirituality, or even something that is a gift to us to help our lives become easier and easier. So in the third dimension, the waking dimension, and the dream state, the fourth dimension, there are now flowing in and through and as we become more spiritually attuned to those sitting right next to us and those in another room, planet, another place on this planet. And so the fifth dimension, as we're moving into it and we're crashing into it, is the realm of that higher level of thought forms. And it represents the finest and highest of deals of the the fourth dimension. Our higher angels are being revealed right now. And what a better way than to bring up everything that is unlike that fourth dimension in this third dimensional existence to clear dimension. They talk about the causal body, the angels and the sages throughout the ages, as being the highest level of humans' individual personality. It is in the individual soul's manifestation into reality. And so, what causes our human personality and experience comes into existence. We know why we're here at its deepest level, to love, to serve, and remember who we divine spirituality, divine source. And so our intentions actually change and they become a very powerful part of revelation of knowing that we are here as spiritual beings in this human experience. Our personal knowledge expands and who we are expands. Our thoughts expand in this fifth dimension as we open up to a new way of being and new knowledge, new personal knowledge about what is mine to do, what is mine to absorb, and what is mine to express, what is mine to give, and what is mine to receive. Many times in this, and this may be something you can't relate to, I can relate to this. There is so much more in this fourth dimension, so much richer in this fourth and fifth, in this fifth dimension. It is so much richer. And sometimes what's revealed to us is some of our past reincarnations and timelines. As we see how each and every experience in our soul that is incorruptible has been with us since the beginning of time, and that everything has already existed, and that we have chosen to show up in this point in time so that we can further in our collective consciousness on this planet and our individual consciousness on this planet ensure that our mother is revealing her highest health as we are revealing our highest emotional, spiritual, physical health on this planet. And this fifth dimension, which we're crashing into, many times are called the realms of desire. Because things happen, they show up right away. When my consciousness is ready, it shows up right away. And I just want to share a little story about having things manifest. I have land where I live, smaller house, but land where I live. And I grew up with land around me when I was a child. I really didn't have close neighbors at all. And most of my life in this home, we have neighbors. We're very close neighbors, as a matter of fact, in our emotional content, but very quiet neighborhood because there's land around me. And my daughter, who bought a house in a normal neighborhood, was longing for her kids to grow up with land around them where they can run free, so to speak, in the in the barrancas and the trees and have space around them, build the mud forts and do all the things that they did growing up. And in this desire, without even being advertised, the woman next door is selling her house, the house that was built by her husband, although it was her second husband, in the 1970s. And there is land and space and exactly what my daughter is desiring. Process of having this house revealed to her in real time and having that family as she buys, as she sells her house in her normal neighborhood, not normal, but a regular neighborhood, into here. It is not only my desire, but her family's desire too, to have this space. And of course, the greatest joy is that my grandchildren, daughter will be right next to me as well. Exactly, but not right next to me. They'll have to walk a little bit to get to me. So, is you talk about fast manifestations. It is truly amazing how the realms are coming together and how when you desire it at its deepest level, it happens in a way that you can experience it almost instantaneously. And many of the beings that are incarnating right now are incarnating because they were already in those fourth and fifth dimensions. And they don't even remember what it's like to be in the first and second and third dimensions. The children coming in now are so far advanced, many of them. And so they are re experiencing these third dimensional and those feelings. So, Earth humans, which is us, we are in these bodies visiting and being filled with first, second, third, fourth, and fifth dimensions now. And you talk about confusion sometimes, and that is what we're going through right now. Because that fifth dimensional state of consciousness is that one of complete awareness, knowing, knowledge, and yet still maintaining our third dimensional bodies. I define it as unity consciousness. And in this unity consciousness, of course, things that have to be released are being released and made way. Erased, not erased, but released, so that new ways on this valid planet in this unity consciousness of a world that works for everyone. So what we now know in this world that is spiraling, it always goes out and then further up. We are in the process of further in our awakening and awareness, and yet able to maintain this wonderful third dimensional body. And so as I close here, I'm going to close with affirmations of releasing our third dimensional body, not releasing our third dimensional body, not so soon, we're not leaving so soon, but releasing that which holds us and grounds us and makes us denser in our total beingness. So just as you relax into some of this information, just closing your eyes or whatever you want to do just to relax in. I'm going to end with some affirmations. This law of unity, the law of one, as I move in from the taking with me my first, second, third, and fourth dimensional experiences, moving the fourth and fifth into the fourth and fifth dimension of that higher vibration. I'm leaving that lower vibration behind, and my body is vibrating at a higher rate. I am attracted to different foods, different experiences, because it is the way of wisdom. And that way of wisdom is love and law working together. It is perfectly balanced with love. And as I move in, I know that my Mother Earth is also transitioning, ascending from the third, fourth, fifth dimensions. And this has already started from the 19th on, from the love revolution to the 2012 Mayan predictions that we would be shifting and transitioning. And this happens every like 26,000 years as we go to the center of the Milky Way. And each time our evolutionary process rises and we become more vibrationally awake, alert, and aware, and move in more to our heart and the balance of our minds. I believe by 2021, at least by the end, we will be in completion at the time of this transition into this fourth and fifth dimensions, bringing all the dimensions and awarenesses with us. And we will be more fully realized, totally fully realized by the mid 2030s. And at the very latest by the mid 2040s. As we awaken, we realize how asleep we've been, because that vibration is so high we can see beyond where we are right now. And we learn how to create in these different realities here in broadcasts like this and others, and within, listening to the great beyond within. We learn how to wake up and identify in a greater way with our spiritual consciousness. Because if you listen to this, your vibration is already raising. On the fast track, as I say, how to create our own reality, our reality in a higher vibrational way. And we realize that when they have that that energetic vibrational raise in our consciousness, that we are creating our life from that larger awakened consciousness, which is much more than we could ever imagine in the first, second, and third dimensions. And when you're around in this higher state of consciousness with others, that higher vibration is infectious and is changing your world and the world around those who you come in contact with. And so not only am I a cell in a who is choosing to raise my vibration, awaken to my spiritual magnificence, but that decision has already been made by our mother, our beautiful Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, to move to a higher density, higher vibration. And so in her movement, we literally are not at choice. Either we stay behind or we go on that wonderful vibrational ride. And I believe if we are here, as I stay in the I am, know with me, I have chosen to be born at this time specifically to experience this transition. So I let go of the resistance on the surface, connect in greater ways and awaken to greater ways, to positive energies as I generate more positive energies. And the more I open up to and accept fourth and fifth dimension modalities, the more normal they become in my life, and the more the planet reflects a higher or lighter dimensional vibration in my life. So I am releasing restrictions and fears and opening up to limitless possibilities, including new healing modalities, awareness of the one and respect for human diversity. I am open and respecting our natural environments and the use of the natural laws of using that energetic presence that lies waiting for us. I am releasing conflicts and poverty. I am open and receptive to communicating on higher levels. As I am increasingly exhibiting a wider range of intuitive skills which are considered normal. And I know that in this third dimensional body, as soon as I accept all of the good that is that energetic presence around me, it will be those third dimensional things that are keeping me tied to this earthly physical experience, this limited experience, are releasing. And I am open to that spirituality that has been knocking at the door for me to open up to it, as I embrace and just am so ecstatic about being part of that which we are already decided is the greatest and highest in this world, and knowing that I chose to be in it. So I say to all of you, have a blessed day. Namaste. Peace out. I love each and every one of you. God is the presence and the power. God is I am. And I'll see you very soon. Tomorrow.